Yo, what's going on, guys? Evan Tanaka here, back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be making you guys the best 200k budget squad in the game. So basically, we have a budget of 200k to work with, and we're going to build the best 10-man with 200k MT possible to give you guys some good budget players if you have a little bit more MT. I made a 100k budget squad, and I made a 50k budget squad. I'll link those two videos down below if you want to go check those out. But for people who have a little bit more MT and want to spend a little bit more MT, this is the video for you. If you guys are new here, I'd appreciate if you could subscribe down below. We just hit 700 subscribers, so I got to give a big shout out to all of you guys. I really appreciate all of you guys watching my video, giving any likes, commenting, subscribing. I really do appreciate you guys, and I'm gonna go big here, guys. Can we hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year? I'm gonna be working really hard behind the scenes to get really good quality content out for you guys, and work really hard to get as many videos out possible as for you guys. I post 2 to 3 Myteam videos every single day. I'm gonna try to get those up to 3 to 4 day for you guys, so I'm gonna be working really hard. So I'd appreciate if you could subscribe down below and make me reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Without further ado, let's get on to the video. Okay, guys, so we got 200k budget to work with, and the first player I'm gonna go with is Tyrese Maxi. I think this card is very, very good. He is a great offensive player. He has a bit of defense, but I think he just can score the ball very, very well. He's kind of like a budget Isaiah Thomas, and we all know how good Isaiah Thomas is. I think he's a great point guard for only around 30k MT, so he will be one of our most expensive cards on our team. But I think for 30k, Tyrese Maxi is a really, really solid pickup. You guys know me, and you know me, how much I love Donovan Mitchell, so I'm going to have to go with Donovan Mitchell. He's about 10 to 15k MT, so we're going to be looking at 40 to 45k MT. I think the backcourt of Tyrese Maxi and Donovan Mitchell is going to provide some pretty good defense, but some really, really good offense. I think Tyrese Maxi's 6'4", and Don Mitchell's only 6'1", but Don Mitchell can play great defense, a lot better than people think. I don't think his 6'1" really makes that much of a difference. It does, but I feel like he plays such good defense in the paint that it doesn't really matter. So I think the backcourt of Tyrese Maxi and Donovan Mitchell is going to really, really help you guys on the offensive end and defensive end. You'll be fine because of the fact that our small forward is going to be Nicholas Batum. And this card, guys, is really, really solid all around. He is a great defender. He's a great playmaker. He can score the ball decently well by himself. He's got a great jump shot. He can shoot the ball. He's got really good badges, really good stats. I think Batum is a great all-around small forward for your guys' team. And his diamond sits around like 25k, and you can upgrade his pink diamond in like 20 to 30 minutes. So I'm going to count his diamond price because it's really easy to upgrade him to pink diamond. His diamond price is looking around 25k MT. So I'm gonna say we're at 65k MT. Again, guys, if my prices are wrong, I did look before this video about how much people's prices were. If they have gone up or down, then I do apologize, but this is the closest thing to what I think they are. At the power forward position, to give us a little bit more defense, if you guys were worried about having Donovan Mitchell on the court, we are gonna pick up Robert Covington, and we're gonna upgrade him to an amethyst. Again, I'm counting his ruby price, which is like 5k MT, I'm pretty sure, and so we're gonna be at 70k MT. His amethyst card is really, so is ruby, but his amethyst card is a really great defender. I think he's one of the best budget power forwards in the game, alongside someone else on this list that's going to be on the team. And basically, I think Rocco is going to provide a little bit more defense. I don't think there's a weak point on the defense. Maybe Tyrese Maxi, but he's 6'4", I'm pretty sure. Donovan Mitchell, 6'1", but he's a great defender. Batum is like 6'8", right? Great all-around defender. Like, he's king guard, perimeter, interior, all that type of stuff. And Rocco is a great perimeter and interior defense. So we have 2 really good defenders, like they're known for their defense. We have Donovan Mitchell, who's really good offensively, but still has really good defensive stats. And Tyrese Maxi is a bit of both. He's a really good offensive player, and I think a pretty good defensive player. So I don't think there's really a weak spot on our starting lineup for defense. And I think offense, we have 2 guys who can score the ball at any time. Batum can get a bucket, and Rocco not really going to score, but he can hit threes wide open in the corner or wide open on the wing. So I think, guys, it's not just about who are the best players, like who's the best point guard, who's the best shooting guard. I'm building the lineup around how I would play and how I think most people would play. If you want 2 guys scoring here, you want a guy in the middle, like your small forward, who could score the ball a little bit, but more as defensive side. And you want a guy like at the power forward who's usually just your lockdown defender. You know, Rocco, just great defender. So onto the center is going to be Kristaps Porzingis. And Kristaps, guys, is still one of my favorite center in the game, and I feel like this lineup is going to give us a little bit more height, because Rocco and Batum are perfectly fine, but I think if we just get a little bit more height at the center position, who can shoot the ball, this lineup's going to be able to stretch the floor really well. And I feel like you'll see why I have Porzingis on this line and not the other line. I'll explain that in a second. But I think Kristaps Porzingis is a great still budget center, and they haven't dropped many 2 budget centers, guys. This is also before the new prime time comes out today, so if they do drop a good center, a budget center at least, then there's nothing I can really do about that. That came out when I didn't see that. I'm still a big fan of Kristaps Porzingis. We're only around 10k MT, so that's going to put us at 80,000 MT. Spend, so 120,000 MT to work with. I think Porzingis is still an amazing center. 7'3". He's got a 82 3 ball, a really nice smooth release. I think he blocks shots really well, grabs rebounds really well. He's 7'3", so he's not going to get paint mashed, even though you might think he will because his strength is a little bit low. But I think he's an all-around great center who can shoot the ball lights out. I like his release, I like his jump shot, and I feel like he plays great defense and grabs rebounds. So he spent about 80k on the bench, or sorry, on the starting lineup. Now we got 120k to spend on the bench. For our bench point guard, we are going to go with Kyle Lowry. A lot of people are not the biggest fan of this card, but I'm a really big fan of Kyle Lowry, especially in this game. He's 6 foot, but he's got great defense, great interior defense. Basically plays like a Donovan Mitchell on the defensive end. His stats are good, but his height's a little bit low, but he plays amazing defense. And I think he can score the ball really well, and he's going to be a good facilitating point guard for you. But at shooting guard, the reason why we have Kyle Lowry is because we're going to pick up Matisse Thybulle. He's a 6'6", I think the best 3-and-D budget card in the game. He's a great defender. He can shoot the ball a bit on offense. He can create the ball a bit on offense as well. But he's a great defender, and he's going to help give us some of that size that we're missing with Kyle Lowry and give us a lot more defense to help out the squad. And I think an all-around player is Miles Bridges, and he's going to be our small forward position. I think he can go get you a bucket, but he can also play some really good defense. I think he's going to give us a bit more scoring off the bench that we do need. Someone else you could look to go with is Kawhi Leonard, but the reason why I'm going with Miles Bridges is to give you a little bit more scoring off the bench, which I feel like will help because Lowry's good defender, like great defender, just a little bit smaller, so I'm going to say good defender. Matisse Thybulle, great defender, like amazing, like top tier defender. Miles Bridges, decent defender. And then at power forward, we're gonna go with Saddiq Bey, an all-around good defender, great offensive player. He's just an all-around stud, all-around great player. So again, I feel like this lineup is really balanced. And so far, Lowry's 20k MT, maybe a bit cheaper. Matisse is 1,000 MT. Bridges is like 15k, 17k. So I'm gonna say 15k. So we spent about 20, 35. And between these two, we'll just say 40k, but I mean to be honest, it's more like 37k. But at the center position, now this is where you could go 2 different ways. Miles Turner, because again, I think these guys are good. You're saying, oh, why are you spending all your MT on the center? Because I feel like a popping center who's really good is really important this year. But if you want to go cheaper and you want to look to pick up a different position, I would replace Miles Turner and go Josh Smith. Oh, and then you can maybe upgrade your point guard if you want to go more expensive point guard. You could realistically pick up an Isaiah Thomas if you want to go like that, which actually is not a bad shout. Going Isaiah Thomas, right? 80k MT, and then you got the rest of the team will fit under the 120k mark. I think you could go that. So if you want your point guard to be really good, and then you could go Josh Smith, or you could go Kyle Lowry and Miles Turner. So those are my 2 options for you guys. If you want to have a better point guard, you can do that. You can also do that with some other positions, like maybe you want who's a really good like shooting guard. You could go Jaylen Brown, and maybe you want a good small forward. There's not really too many. You could go AK maybe if you really want a defensive god like AK, and then go Kyle Lowry and Josh Smith. Right? You can pick what player you want to go expensive. But the reason why I have him off the bench is because I feel like having a really good player off your bench is really helpful. Like I have Klay Thompson off my bench because he comes in and man, he just dominates. But what I do is I take him out like 2 minutes before I take my bench out, and what I do is I put my Donovan Mitchell back in, and then Klay comes in for the last like 2 to 3 minutes of the fourth quarter, and I feel like it helps me a lot because Klay is so good. So I have him as kind of like my one player I use as my offensive guy on the bench, and then I bring him in for the fourth quarter, the last like 2 minutes to help me close out the game. That's what I personally do. So again, this is the lineup, guys. It's definitely under 200k. You cannot go Isaiah Thomas and Miles Turner. That's obviously way too expensive. You have to go either Isaiah Thomas, Josh Smith. You can go Kyle Lowry and Miles Turner. You could go Kyle Lowry and Josh Smith as well, but you can't put Isaiah Thomas and Miles Turner. That's going to go way over the budget because this team's like about 190 to 200k. Like it's right there at the range if you pick up Isaiah Thomas or Miles Turner, which I recommend you do. You could start these guys as well. You don't have to do my method. Like if you want to, you can obviously start Isaiah Thomas, but that means you'd have to start Matisse Thybulle because you cannot have Isaiah Thomas and Donovan Mitchell on the same line. They're just too small backcourt. But yeah, so that's the 200k team, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I hope you guys do enjoy. Hopefully you picked up some of these players and hopefully they're helpful to your squad. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.